Hi, it's John Atkins from GBH Boxing at the AFC. We're going to look at parrying. In a parrying form, you have your good sets to here, your elbows will be in, posture will be nice and comfortable. From this positioning, if somebody throws a jab at me, I would step off laterally and use just the inside edge of my glove, not too big, not dropping it too low, just nudging that off. If your posture will just cut it over, your other hand will be up. You won't use both hands for it because basically you'll get hit. So in that position, it's just 1 and 2, 1 and 2, 1 and 2. So what you're doing is, as the jab comes in, I'm moving my head off the centre line, using my rear hand to parry. Yes? If it's a right hand, I will step to the left, or my left, parry with my left hand. This will create openings for punch striking as well, but my hand has to be enough over to defend the technique, to move it away from my face, but not enough to expose anything else in my posture. So really it's quite little. 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2. I can use it with my forehand backhand, so I can actually use it as a jab hand and then backhand it, so I'm moving this away, slipping to the right of a right hand. Then I can throw my hook or my 45 jab or a body shot hook, anything along that plane. And I can also use, if somebody hit us as a cross jab, I'd parry from there and then backhand from there to create like an overhand right type movement in an angle. So it can be used in different forms, but the main base form is just using it with your hands. If picture old school and there was no gloves, my hands would hold a cup and edge like that, held in just in front of my face, keeping my chin down, my shoulders rolling, elbows nice and tucked in. The parrying form is just this: 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2. Hands will always go back to the intended position start. 1, 2, then back to there. So I can throw my shots off. A lot of times people will just cover over. Covering over is one example. That's really basically getting hit, covering over and accepting it. I'm the school of thought I'd rather parry, because at least I'm parrying, I've got more chance of my defence, less chance of getting the technique coming through at us, and I can see more. But if my hands are already moving in a defensive form, they can easily open up for the next attack. If they're very static, it's like your turn, my turn, your turn, my turn, your turn. In that sense, that's just an exchange of techniques. I don't want to do that. If they're throwing something at me, I would like to be able to return straight back at them if possible. I don't want to take as many shots as I can and hoping I can weather the storm in the technique. That's not so good. So sometimes, just use your open palm hands, thumbs into there, 1, 2, 3. Yeah, 1, 2. Practice them as jab, cross, jab, cross. So in a parrying sense, if I parry, that would lead to my next punch. Say if I parry a jab form over, my parry would lead to my jab. Cross came in, my parry would lead to my cross. So movement wise, I can just nudge it out, move it out the way, then use my next technique, or just nudge it out the room, then use my next technique. So what I'm looking to do is following straight back, defense attack, defense attack, defense attack. So whether I jab cross or parry jab or parry cross, it's the same as cross jab, jab cross. Movement wise, if my hand's already moving defensively, I can open up my next attack. If it's moving defensively, I can open up my technique. So then when you get used to doing that, you could then fake your jab to throw your right cross, or fake your cross to throw your jab or 45 jab. So defensive parrying can lead to use of fake movements because your body's already moving, which means it's already accelerating, it's not rigid. How many times have you thrown a jab and you're like, I'm going to throw this soon, not long now, and you don't ever throw it? If your body's more loose, you're more inclined to throw your shots more readily. If you stiffen up, that's all you're going to do. You should never drive your car with your handbrake on. So what I'm trying to do is take the handbrake off, just go into first gear and just start to move with it, then use it as parry, then parry jab, parry cross, fake jab cross, fake cross jab. So you can build up in a repertoire of that because your hands are already moving, your hands are looser, you've got a better, faster reflex snap. It's a bit like working on a floor to ceiling ball, where you're just getting that punch recovery, so you're using a faster twitch muscles rather than as stiff as you can, punching as hard as you can. Sometimes that doesn't help you do the technique. Doing this shadow work, doing it in a mirror, please don't punch the mirror, but then you can see the form, how the form sits, how your parrying stance works. Are you over parrying, are you under parrying, are you just covering, are you over punching or under punching? Because you're like T-Rex in arms, you want full extension. Have a look at it. It's not narcissistic, you're just trying to see if you've got good form in your movement. And enjoy it. The more relaxed you are, the better you become with it. Alright? Why are you?